it's David and welcome back to a new video. Today we will be making Grimbles, the new skin from Fortnite. Before we begin, please like and subscribe and click that bell icon to get notifications of my next videos. Also, I will be talking in this video to help you guys and to give you a better idea of how I made it. Thanks guys, hope you enjoy. So, as I said, I will be talking in this video, and I'd just like to start by saying thanks for all the subs, likes and subscriptions. If we could hit 200 subs in the next month, that would be absolutely brilliant. Also, I love reading your comments. I'm open to suggestions, whether it be what I do next or anything to help me improve the quality of my videos or my channel. For the skin, we are clearly using blue and purple mixed with a bit of black to get a more accurate colour for the legs. So I just want to apologise for not being able to release a video in the last few weeks. I did go away for 2 weeks for the Christmas period and it would have been very hard for me to release a video. I understand I haven't released a video for quite a few weeks now, but I hope you understand it takes a while to make these figures, and I have school and homework and all that, and I have other things to do, so it does take me about a week to make one of these figures. So I will try my best, but I hope you sympathise if I'm not able to release one. I'd just like to thank Sam for helping me record the intro and the outro for this video. Sam's always liking my videos, he's always commenting very close to the time that I release them, so thanks Sam, I hope you're watching this video. Now as you can see here, we're making the belts for the skin. Now the belts of this character are quite easy to make, as they are for the majority of Fortnite skins, as they usually have the same two belts, the larger one on the top and the smaller, more detailed one on the bottom. The same goes for the rest of the legs. There are usually two bands on the right leg and then the knee pads and the laces on the shoes. So this part shouldn't be too difficult if you've made a skin before. So I'm using Fimo Professional clay. You can use Fimo Soft, however I find that Fimo Professional is better for the more specific skins or characters that you're making. For example, now that we're making this buckle, if I was to use Fimo Soft, it would probably stick to the plate, and if you handle Fimo Soft clay in your hands for too long, it can get very squishy and it gets very sticky. Obviously there are some downsides to Fimo Professional as well. For example, it is quite hard, so you will need to warm it up in your hands. If you try to use it straight away, it will probably snap. Both of them cost about the same amount. Fimo Professional costs about £2.50, the same as Fimo Soft. In America, I'm assuming it probably costs around $3. So, as you can see, we're moving on to the second belt buckle. Now, I'm using gold clay from the Fimo Effect range. Now, I was going to use that clay for the last video, however, it hadn't arrived in time and I had to resort to paint. Now, as you can see, we're making the flaps under the belt. Now, this is the first time I've seen a character from Fortnite having these flaps. They did take me quite a while to make, because you had to line the outline with light blue clay. For this I used a scalpel. It was the best option. It cuts sharp and clean, and it's also good for placing the parts onto the skin. Now you can buy a surgical scalpel online. I bought mine off eBay for about £4.50, so they are quite easy to get a hold of. Now obviously they are much sharper than a normal knife. I've already cut myself about 3 times with it, so I would be cautious when using it. So as you can see now, we're moving on to these small details on the chest and the bottom flaps. Now I just got a thin end of gold and patted it down with a small screwdriver to get that effect of a small golden trail passing up the chest. Now we are moving on to the strips on the legs. Now, as I said before, these are quite common on Fortnite skins, I just used a thin strip of paper to make an indent first, and then wrap the black clay around. So now, when I work on the upper body, like I will be doing now, I usually fix the Fortnite skin down with some of my spare clay at the bottom. Now obviously we're working on the arms. These are always quite challenging as you need to get the right shape, so I would give yourself a little space if you're going to try and make them. Also, don't be afraid to constantly cut clay off. It looks very bad if you have too much clay on the hand. And don't be afraid to widen the arms out to give yourself a bit of space to change them. You can put them back into position later. Now both female and male skins in Fortnite tend to have the same body shape. Both are quite muscular, so I would give some big lumps for the biceps on the arm, and even the legs are quite thin at the ankles, so I would try and emphasize that. Now we're using the gold clay again to create a sort of bullet pattern down the side of the shoulders. This took me a very long time, and I once again had to move the arms. I would be careful if you are going to be doing small details like that. I would take your time and try not to squish them after, as they can look very bad. Now we're moving on to the hands. Now I will be honest, the hands you see here aren't the actual hands on the skin. I restarted them once because I was quite unhappy with how they came out. The hands are something that can easily go wrong, so you need to pay attention. If something is wrong, my technique to dealing with that is putting some black strings of clay to highlight certain details that went well, to take the attention off the actual hands. Now, as you can see here, we are moving to the scarf that the skin has. This part reminds me quite a lot of what campers or scouts wear in the films, around their neck. Now, it is quite hard to replicate the fabric feel of this part of the skin. Now, I do it by having quite a few turns and angles at which I cut. Now, you will want to try and do your best on this because it is right under the head and it will be one of the main focal points. Now we're moving on to the feet, and I like to have some pads underneath to make sure that the metal doesn't stick out. So the feet are fairly easy to do as long as you take your time. I find that the slimmer you make them and the smaller, the more professional it looks. There's nothing worse than having bigger feet, as it kind of looks a bit unprofessional and just looks a bit clunky. Don't be afraid to cut the end off every once in a while to make it slightly shorter, as it's very easy to make it longer than it should be. Now we're moving on to the golden pads on top of the laces. Now I don't actually make the laces in this one, as I will be painting this part after to make it more icy, so I just do the pads as they're the ones that give the shape. Now the golden knee pads, I do struggle with them on most Fortnite characters. Now it did take me about 5 or 6 attempts to get it right, and that means 5 or 6 recordings, but I think they came out well in the end. Now we're moving on to the hat. Now I just cut a cone shape at several different angles and it got me the shape I wanted. It was slightly easier and it came up better than I expected. So before I show you guys this skin's face, I will warn you, it is about the worst thing that I've done out of Polymer clay so far. He looks way too old and looks nothing like the actual skin. Now, learning from my mistakes, I will suggest you guys, make sure you keep his face quite smooth. Don't fiddle with his nose or eyes too much, as that will put many wrinkles and little dots on the face, which only make him look older. I'm pretty sure this guy's only meant to look like 30 years old, even though he has a grey beard. Now the grey I used was quite light, in fact, after I paint him. So, learning from my mistakes, I probably won't do another realistic face again for a while. In fact, it's kind of scared me because this was quite hard. I can't imagine how I'm going to find the Ice King, as that looks like a really challenging skin. I'm probably not going to do it, in fact. When painting it, I would be quite careful. It isn't very easy to remove paint from the face, so I would take your time. Also, I would go over it several times. For it to stay, I had to put quite a few layers on it. Guys, it's finished. The finished Grimbles Fortnite skin. Obviously, it isn't perfect. The face is an absolute nightmare, much worse than I thought it'd come out. However, all in all considered, probably could have come out much worse. As you can see, we've painted the feet sort of icy colour and the top of the hat, and I had a few little streaks on the hat. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Please like, subscribe and comment down in the description and click that bell icon. As I said before, let's hit 200 subscribers. Thanks guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video.